chapter number 18, active and passive voice, page 148. Now, firstly, I would like to tell you what is active and passive voice. It might not be described so well, mentioned so well in your book that you have, but I'm referring to some another book, okay, which will let you know what active and passive voice is actually, okay. So, first let me start with an example, okay. Like the first example is the cat chased the rat, okay. And another is the rat was chased by the cat. Now if you hear me properly, I have used the same subject and object, okay, the same words, okay, just the position is been changed, okay. The cat chased the rat was chased by the cat. The first sentence, the cat chased the rat, is in active voice, active form, okay. Why it is in active form is because the cat chased the rat. Now, who is doing the action? Who is doing, what is the action here? Chase. Okay, chasing or chase. Now, and who is chasing? The cat. So, the cat is your subject here, the doer of an action. The action is chased. And the cat is chasing to whom? The rat. So, the rat is your object. Okay. So, when you have this order in your sentence, subject, verb and object, that means the sentence is in active voice. Okay. And in another sentence, the rat was chased by the cat. Now, what is the order here? The rat was chased by the cat. The meaning is the same, but the way you have used your words, the order of the word, your sentence is different here. Okay. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's different here. The rat was chased. That means the rat still, it's a receiver or the object, not the object, I cannot tell you the object, but it's the receiver of the action. It is receiving the action. Okay, the rat is being chased. Okay, so it is receiving the action. Chase is the verb as usual by the cat. Okay, so the cat is the subject here. So when you have this order, okay, receiver, verb and the subject at the end, that means your sentence is in passive voice. Okay. In the first sentence, the cat is the subject of the verb and the rat is the object. In other words, the cat is the doer. In another word, if you have to say, the cat is the doer of the action, okay, while the rat is the receiver of the action. Now in the second sentence, the subject, the rat, okay, the subject, the rat is the receiver of the action, okay. Now the rat, though it's in the beginning of the sentence, that's why we have put more focus to the rat. So that's why we will give rat as a subject, we will keep rat as a subject, but it is receiving the action, okay. When the subject of the verb is the doer of the action, the verb chase is said to be in the active voice. So when the subject of the verb, that means the cat in the first sentence, the subject of the verb is the doer. When your subject is the doer of the action, when your subject is doing the action, the verb chase is said to be in the active voice, C-H-A-S-E-D, though it is in past tense ed, yes or no? But still, you have to also keep in mind with the subject, your subject is doing the action or not. Yes, in your first sentence, your subject is doing the action, that is chasing. So that's why chased, though ed is in past form, okay, still it is in the active voice, okay. And when the subject of the verb is the receiver of the action, that means in the second sentence, the rat, okay, it's the subject but it is receiving the action. The verb was chased. Now it will not be ed only, just adding ed will not make it past tense, but you have to also write was chased, okay. Was chased is said to be in the passive voice, okay. That's why the rat was chased by the cat. So when a sentence is changed from the active form to the passive form, the object of the active verb becomes the subject of the passive voice. That means when the subject of the verb, when a sentence is changed from active form to passive, how do you change, or when do you change the active to passive form? What you have to do is the object, okay, the object that is in the active voice, okay, active verb becomes the subject in your passive verb. Am I clear? Rules for changing active form sentences to passive form. You have to follow this rule. Interchange the position of the subject and the object of the verb. Okay, so there has to be interchange, not just change but interchange. Okay, subject will your object will become the subject in your passive form. Okay, and your object will go to the end. Okay, end of the sentence. So that will be your subject to interchange of the verb form. Okay. Replace the verb with am, is, are plus past participle form of the verb. Everyone eats breakfast. Breakfast is eaten by everyone. She makes these handmade cards. These handmade cards are made by her. So these are the simple way to change from active to passive, okay, to convert. So keep that in mind. Now what you have in your book is, we can change active voice into passive voice by making the object in the active voice and subject in the passive voice. We just saw. Yes or no? There are so many examples like active voice. Children are flying kites. Here your subject is children. Okay, they are doing the action and that is flying and the object is kites. Okay. Now when you have to change from active to passive voice, you have to keep in mind the object has to come to the subject. Okay, has to become subject in your passive voice. So kites will be in front, beginning of a sentence. Kites. Now you have to add something. Is, are, am. Yes or no? It's already said in the rule. So kites are being flown. Flying will become flown by children. Okay. Another. The police has arrested all the thieves. All the thieves have been arrested by the police. Now there are so many examples. You have to go through all the examples. When a transitive verb has two objects, now this is something else. Okay, when a transitive verb, now what is transitive verb is? Transitive verb is that which accept one or more object. Okay, when your sentence accept more than one or more objects, that means it's a transitive verb. So when a transitive verb has two objects, either the direct or indirect object may become the subject of the sentence in the passive voice. So when you have two object, so two object also there are two types. Okay, one is direct object, one is indirect object. So when you have to change your active voice to passive voice, and when your active voice already have two objects, okay, either direct object or indirect object will become the subject in your passive voice. Okay, that is what is said here. A transitive verb can be classified by the number of object and they require. So according to that you will understand whether the verb is transitive verb or intransitive verb. Okay. Now active, for example, I gave her, her is your indirect object. Music lessons, okay, is your direct object. Okay. Now it can be either her or music lessons in the beginning. So there are, you can transform to two types. Okay, first is her. Yes or no? Her is one object. So her we cannot start, we can go with she. So she was given music lessons by me, or music lessons were given to her by me. So you can change, you can from one active voice, active sentence, you can make it two passive voice. Okay, two passive voice sentence. You see in the book? Active voice. Who taught you French? Okay. One is by whom were you taught French, or by whom was French taught to you. So there are two types. The active voice is used when the agent, that is the doer of the action, is to be made prominent. That means specific or clear. The passive voice is used when the person or thing acted upon is to be made prominent. Okay, indefinite. The passive voice is generally used when the doer of the action is unknown, unimportant, or vague. Vague means uncertain, unclear. This is somebody, that is somebody, they, people, we, etc. In such cases, the agent with by is usually omitted as shown in the sentences given in the next page. Let's follow the next page. Oh, so there are two columns as you can see in this page, page 150, which you have to follow. Like passive voice, he was crowned king, in the bracket by them, which is like, it's not compulsory, you have to write. Even if you don't write, it's fine. He was crowned king, they crowned him king. All the telephone wires have been cut, they have cut all the telephone wires. So there are so many, you can read this. A sentence which expresses command, request or advice is called an imperative sentence. I'm sure you know that. For changing the sentence to passive voice, auxiliary verb be is used. Okay. The word let is added before the subject in passive voice. Auxiliary verb be is added after the object in sentence in the passive voice. Main verb or the base form of an imperative sentence is changed to third form of the verb, that is past participle in the passive voice. Okay, let's see. Post this letter. Passive voice, let this letter be posted. One should keep one's promises. Promises should be kept. You must do it at once. It must be done at once. There are so many you can read again. These examples, you can follow this, and that's it. Okay, now you have exercises based on this chapter. Try yourself, and I'll be giving you the answers so that you can check whether you are correct or not, whether you have understood or not tomorrow. Okay, thank you.